Hi, welcome to this edition of Fifth Quarter. I'm Kirsten LaRue.
And I'm Gavin Curlis. On this edition, we blow the whistle, stop the clock, and dig into the lives of the men behind the call, good or bad.
Also, with winter sports deep into the heart of their seasons, we dive into how each team is doing.
And finally, we highlight the certain games that stand out in students' minds among the rest.
All this and more on this edition of Fifth Quarter. Everyone loves the environment of a high school basketball game. The lights, the noises, the people, but nothing ruins the atmosphere like a bad call. Maya Patton and Gavin Curlis give us the story behind the officials on the court.
Basketball has an intense atmosphere which is loved by many, but it's easy to forget one of the most important aspects.
The ref, they make all the calls. If a player gets in foul trouble, that can affect the game. Like in the end, players play the game. The result will usually come down to players, even though a lot of people like to blame the ref. It's like, well, the player should have done this instead, or the coach should have called this play. But, I think in the end, it's on the players and coaches over the refs.
Coach Oswald has been reffing high school basketball for many years, and his impact on the game is duly noted.
I think the expectation that is put on a referee's head is to be perfect.
Some fans, like the loud crowd, clearly think that some refs are not perfect.
Of course, I have some chance for when the referees make a bad call. In that case, it might be disrespectful, but most of the time when we're just cheering on our Tigers, I don't think it's that bad.
Although most players and coaches respect the calls a ref makes, some fans truly believe that refs can be biased towards the teams.
They determine the entire outcome of the game. If they don't like a team, then they have the ability to make calls that are more biased towards other players and things like that.
Oswald understands why some fans can be irate.
Either they don't know the rules or don't understand the game, or they are watching the game. And so when something happens, they're seeing the tail end of what happened. And a lot of times a referee is watching before it happens and understands what just happened.
Even though most calls are just and fair, fans still get riled up for the not-so-great calls.
When they make a bad call, it really causes us to get a little louder and do some different chants.
The chants from loud crowd draw mixed emotions from people on the court.
I think it's kind of funny, honestly. Because, sometimes they actually do get in other players' heads, and it actually helps us out.
Sometimes I get annoyed at them.
Oswald has learned to deal with the nuisance of riled up fans.
You pretty much deal with poor fan behavior, on a nightly basis.
Refs get yelled at all throughout the game, but Oswald still has a passion for what he does.
I think I just enjoy being around the game and being around high school kids and coaches. That's been my whole life.
Reporting for Fifth Quarter.
Yeah, we play basketball better than you!
This is Maya Patton.
Boys basketball is thriving after their recent wins against Lee Summit North and Lee Summit West. Austin Smith gives us the scoop on how the Tigers defeated Lee Summit North on their rise to becoming Kings of the Hill.
In this crosstown showdown, the Tigers would take on the Broncos at Lee Summit North. Jerron McDaniel would come up big early with a great swat. Javante Hawkins pulls up and hits a deep three. The Tigers would go into the half down 36-30 as Coach Little would try to inspire a comeback. The Tigers would push in transition as Seth Romine converts on the layup. Javante Hawkins and the Broncos would not go down easy as he drops 30 points in the game. In the end, the Broncos would fall to the Tigers, losing 69-67, as the Tigers advanced to 3-0 in conference. Signing out for Fifth Quarter, I'm Austin Smith.
Lee Summit High School is known for the spirit our loud crowd brings to games. Fans love supporting the Tigers to victory. Some games come with a little extra bit of enthusiasm. Michael Cadwell and Kirsten LaRue lead us in with this next segment.
I think that sports in general people identify schools with their sports programs. And I think that when schools have good sports programs, everybody feels good about their school.
For many schools, sports can draw the community in. Here at LSHS, there's a special kind of passion for high school athletics.
Always ask, like, oh, where do you go? Just Lee Summit High School, and just the tradition of having, like, being the original Lee Summit.
One former LSHS member has an exclusive perspective on the meaning of being a Tiger.
I think once a Tiger, always a Tiger is a motto that any person who goes to Lee Summit High School as a student or as a faculty member can live by. You know, I will continue to live by that. You know, I will always have Lee Summit High School in my heart. I will always care deeply about the successes that occur at that school.
Every game, fans come to support their teams to victory, but some nights separate themselves from the rest for most students.
They definitely pack the gym. You know, I've been at Lee Summit for 23 years now, and I've seen go to games at all three schools, and there may not be much of a crowd, but once it's a Lee Summit versus a Lee Summit, all of a sudden there's a lot of interest, which I think is great.
You feel a sense of pride in yourself and in your school, because it's just, and it's more fun. You feel like you have more fun at rivalry games than you would at, like, regular games.
Rivalry games, if done right, can be a great part of a community.
When it's a healthy rivalry, it really does just create an environment that's exciting and fun to be a part of. And I really do think the Lee Summit West, Lee Summit High School rivalry is one that is a healthy rivalry.
High school rivalry is a culture of competition that can never be replaced.
So I think that it impacts the entire community, entire school in a positive way. You know, like I said, win or lose, you want to learn something from it. And I think with rivalries, what you can learn is they build a positive culture throughout the entire community when they're done the right way.
I think there needs a rivalry games, because I just love the energy and the enthusiasm and all of the pageantry that it brings out. And it just makes it exciting for everybody. And that would be really sad if you didn't have a rivalry game.
That's what high school sports are about. That's what a rivalry really is about. It's about going out, competing against someone that you really want to beat, and having a great contest where everybody walks away and says, wow, that was exciting.
Whatever happens in the game itself, both Dr. Herzog and Coach Miller want players to benefit from the game in a positive way.
Win or lose, I want them to be able to walk away and have learned something from the contest.
To help the boys learn that there's more than winning and losing, and to grow them as people.
Reporting from the original Lee Summit High School, this is Michael Cadwell.
Hi, I'm reporter Clayton Couch, and I teamed up with reporters Kyle Creason and Mike Smith to take an in-depth look of wrestling training.
Teamwork is a huge factor. If your partner is not any good, you probably won't be either. You got to constantly push yourself. Somebody, coach isn't going to see everything, so there's got to be somebody there that'll hold you accountable. There's got to be somebody to push you every day. I joined wrestling just because I had 5 friends that wrestled, and I joined, and it was like some of the best fun I ever had. If you want to go far, you definitely got to put the time in. I think that's why a lot of our guys quit, because they didn't put the time in and it was too hard. You have to be tougher than most people. You're already tougher just for coming out, but if you want to go real far, you have to have just that extra drive to really want to improve. People will tell you, hey, this guy's a state champion, hey, this guy's wrestled for 8 years or whatever, and you just got to be willing to go out there and give it your all. Strength you can build and skill they can teach you, but if you're not willing to put in the time and if you're not invested in it, you won't succeed.
Signing out for 5th quarter, I'm Clayton Couch.
It's time for enrollment once again, and as you are turning in your course request sheets today, remember that Tiger Broadcast and Film are great options to fill your schedule next year. The wonderful 5th quarter staff shares just what they think about the class.
Tiger Broadcast and Film does offer 4 really good programs. And the sports side of things, it's kind of like our own ESPN, but here at LSHS. We cover everything Tiger Athletics. We live stream games, do recaps of games, special interviews of players, and special stories for people in Tiger Athletics. So if you're really into sports and you like being a Tiger in LSHS Athletics, this would be a great program for you.
The news side of Tiger Broadcast, every month they put together a show full of different stories from around the school. So at the beginning of the month, they come together and they come up with these stories, and over the month, they produce them. If you love meeting with new people and learning more about our school, and just if you're a people person, the news team would be great for you.
So film is a great class. If you have a creative mind and you want to make more projects in it, you do PSA, short films, and music videos. But in IB film, you do more analyzing movies in it. You also create projects, but it's only about 1 or 2. And they're both great classes to take.
Enjoy podcasting!
Up next, Mike Smith gives us a quick recap of Girls Swim.
Girls Swim would compete January 20th at LSR 7 Aquatic Center against both the Lee Summit schools. Mallory Butler got second in the 200 IM with a time of 2:24 and first in the 100 freestyle with a time of 57:74. Caroline Francis Gato won the 500 free with a time of 5:32, beating second place by 18 seconds. The girls would also get the school record for the 200-meter medley relay. Signing out for 5th quarter, I'm Mike Smith.
Happy 2018 Tigers, I'm Cam Brigham. Welcome back to this edition of Tiger Weather. Today, the 31st of the month of January, we're going to have a high of 47 and it's going to be a little bit cloudy. Tonight, we'll set the scene for the rest of the week. We're going to have a high of 24 with possible snow and sleet. As for the surrounding cities, Raymore is going to have a high of 49, Harrisonville, Kansas City 50, and Olathe 54. The week started out very, very sunny, but sadly that's going to change. Thursday and Friday are going to both be 37, and it's going to be a little snowy. Thank you for watching this edition of Tiger Weather. Signing off, I'm Cam Brigham.
Rivalry games always bring out the best and the worst from both schools, whether it be the atmosphere or the play on the court. Josh Walker and Braden Weeks show us how the girls basketball team did against West.
The 1-13 Lady Tigers took on the 10-1 Lee Summit West Titans on January 23rd. Lee Summit would look strong in the beginning as Brooke Benton would drop 2 for the Tigers. She would also connect with freshman Morgan Wiseman as she converted from just inside the arc. West, however, would dominate as they would go into the second quarter up 19-8. Titan Ashton Kemple would wrestle the ball into the basket to add to their lead. Lee Summit would not give up hope as Claire Locke would connect with Kaylee Lyles for 3 points. West would open fire, and despite the Tigers' efforts, they would fall to the Titans 39-70. Signing off for 5th quarter, this is Braden Weeks with Josh Walker.
LSHS Athletics is full of high-talent athletes. Every game, we see some unforgettable plays and performances. Jeremy Souders gives us the top 5 plays.
Coming in at number 5, we got Will Eames snatching the Broncos' ankles right out from under him, but then dishes off to Landon Wills for the easy layup. Number 4, Ori Scott treats his opponent like a rag doll as he slams him onto the mat. Coming in at number 3, Deron McDaniel has to remind the Broncos whose house they are in as he spikes the ball down on Mikkel Henderson. Number 2, Makia House has a great saving dish to Brooke Benton, who puts it up for the easy lane. Coming in at number 1, Jaden Moore sees Lincoln Prep miss a dunk, so he decides to one-up them by having the first dunk of the Tiger season. Signing out for 5th quarter, I'm Jeremy Souders.
Thank you for watching this edition of 5th Quarter. For sports packages and more, go to www.tigerbroadcast.com. For live streams, go to www.tigerbroadcast.net.
Also follow us on Twitter at SportsTVTV8. Signing out for 5th quarter, I'm Kirsten LaRue.
And I'm Gavin Curlis. See you next time.